officer is jailed for more than 48 hours and doesn't necessarily mean that they've been convicted, automatically, viewers, they stand suspended from their post. Now, you would assume that people's representatives, those that are elected, who are equally indispensable to the functioning of government, would also be held to a similar high standard, viewers. It's only natural. But you'd be surprised to know that this isn't the case. For some reason, the arrest of a prime minister or chief ministers doesn't automatically warrant disqualification from office. And one of those reasons is that, frivolous cases can be filed and these people could be jailed and then they would have to demit office, they would be suspended from their post, etc. But that also applies, viewers, to IPS officers and IS officers. In fact, viewers, there's no explicit prohibition against a prime minister or chief ministers conducting official responsibilities while under arrest. The Representation of People's Act of 1951 in fact prescribes disqualification only in the event of a conviction, and that too under certain very stipulated stringent conditions. Now, these allowances, so to speak, these privileges, so to speak, have led the AAP to declare that Arvind Kejriwal will remain Chief Minister and perform his duties even when imprisoned. And viewers, he could spend quite a few days, given that the High Court today has also not provided relief to Kejriwal from Enforcement Directorate's custody. The High Court has in fact issued notice on Kejriwal's plea seeking relief from custody, and the next hearing is scheduled only on the 2nd of April. Now the question arises, if the Chief Minister continues to remain in jail and stands accused of misusing his authority to allegedly undermine public interest, should he morally continue to hold office? After all, how does the public know if his decisions are not once again furthering a private interest? It is for this reason that presumably the Lieutenant Governor of Delhi has broadly hinted today that, and I quote, "Jail se sarkar nahi chalegi," unquote, or there's just no way that the Chief Minister can continue running a government from jail. In fact, the Lieutenant Governor VK Saxena has said, "I can assure the people of Delhi that the government will not be run from jail." This is his exact quote, viewers. Of course, the AAP has accused the LG of partisanship. Additionally, the Delhi Chief Minister's wife also held a press conference where she alleged that the ED's actions are questionable and the arrest arbitrary, as the agency has never been able to establish a money trail, a cash trail up to Mr. Kejriwal, saying that when the ED raided Mr. Kejriwal's residence, and that happened, viewers, on Thursday last week, they only found some 70,000 rupees. Listen in to Sunita Kejriwal.
इस सो कॉल्ड शराब घोटाले की जांच में ईडी ने पिछले 2 साल में 250 से ज्यादा रेड मार लिए। वो इस सो कॉल्ड शराब घोटाले का पैसा ढूंढ रहे हैं। अभी तक किसी भी रेड में एक पैसा नहीं मिला। मनीष जी के यहां रेड मारी, संजय सिंह जी की यहां रेड मारी, सत्येंद्र जैन जी की यहां रेड मारी, एक भी पैसा नहीं मिला। हमारे यहां रेड मारी, मात्र 73,000 रुपए मिले। तो वो इस सो कॉल्ड शराब घोटाले का पैसा है कहां?
Viewers, look, it's not our case to judge whether the allegations are true or not true. It's also not our case to judge the AAP's defense today. We're not getting into all of that. We're looking at the larger picture. because the AAP's defense may not stave off the inevitable. As we speak, the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Centre's legal department is working to find a legal rationale. Yes, viewers, a legal rationale for imposing President's rule in the Union capital. We are told the central government's legal eagles are looking closely at the wordings of constitutional provisions to make a case. Apparently, viewers, room exists under Article 239AB to impose President's rule. Let me pull up that for you on your screens. Especially because Clause B of Article 239AB offers a significantly lower threshold to impose central rule. Yes, viewers, we've done some research of our own, and this is what we have found. The exact wordings of Article 239AB are the following. If the President, on receipt of a report from the Lieutenant Governor otherwise is satisfied, and Clause A, that a situation has arisen in which the NCT administration cannot be carried on as per Article 239AA or any law in pursuance of that article or Clause B. For proper administration of NCT, it is necessary or expedient to do so. The President may by order suspend the operation of any provision of Article 239AA or of all or any of the provisions of any law made in pursuance of that article and consequential provisions as may appear to him to be necessary or expedient for administering the National Capital Territory. All this broadly means, viewers, is that under this provision, the President need only to be convinced that it is, quote, necessary or expedient, unquote, to take over the administration of Delhi. Necessary or expedient. Now, viewers, I want you to remember that necessary it could become. Why? Because, viewers, it is actually quite impractical to administer from jail. Let me elaborate on this, and here are more hard facts. Delhi is a union territory and the Lieutenant Governor is deemed an equal stakeholder in governance. Files that need to be presented to the Lieutenant Governor usually go through Kejriwal. Kejriwal presides over cabinet meetings, must now delegate this task. Impossible, in fact, for the Chief Minister to conduct mandated in-person meetings to decide on transfers and postings. The jail manual, remember viewers, Rule 1349 forbids inmates for attending meetings, making phone calls or signing documents. So a situation may arise, viewers. And remember, I'll take you back to Clause B, that for the proper administration of the NCT, the National Capital Territory, it is necessary or expedient to impose President's rule. And easily the Lieutenant Governor can say that governance is not happening. Orders are not being signed by the Chief Minister, not being seen by the Chief Minister. So let's open this up, viewers, and let's ask this basic question. Let's ask if now this is an inevitability that cannot be staved off. And I want to begin with a few of our commentators first. Abhijit Iyer Mitra, Senior Fellow of the IPCS, and of course Dr. Sumant Raman, before I bring in the two political players. Now, Abhijit Iyer Mitra, look, I've read out to you the law. I've also read out to you as what I think is a bit of an anomaly, that the IS and the IPS officers are held to a higher standard and not elected representatives. Now, there are many reasons, but tell me, do you think it has become inevitable now to impose President's rule in Delhi?
I don't know about President's rule, Rahul, but there is a precedent. When Jayalalitha was convicted, She gave up for those 6 months between May and I think it was January and September, or March and September.
Okay.
And OPS became the chief minister. Why? Because, during conviction or things like that, first is the sheer inappropriateness of a convicted person doing this. The second is one of, we should remember, Arvind Kejriwal hasn't been convicted. He is merely in custody, and conviction as yet is unproven. But when you're out there, there are huge logistical problems getting documents to you. There are huge logistical problems getting documents out. There is a problem of decision making is taken. We follow a system where the prime minister or the chief minister is not an absolute authority. They are merely primus inter pares, or first amongst equals, where you have a cabinet to consult and there is consultative decision making. Now, you can't hold cabinet meetings sitting in jail. You see, it's not a party where you can call people over. All of this cripples the functioning of how a chief minister's post is meant to be held and executed, and therefore it is just impossible to carry it out. It is a logistical impossibility to carry it out from jail. Of course, if he wants to run it as a one-man show, no consultation, no nothing, what I say is the highway, there's nothing stopping him from doing it except that governance suffers.
Well, viewers, let me reframe this question. The ball, if you have heard Mr. Iyer, therefore lies in Kejriwal's court. He can easily, in fact, give up the chief minister's post and thereby, in a sense, save his own government. Because then the eventuality of the LG writing to the president and pointing to Article 239AB, Clause B, will not even arise. And there is precedent. Of course, Mr. Abhijit Iyer Mitra has pointed to one instance, but recently the Supreme Court in DMK minister's case, Senthil Balaji, said that he must give up his post. So, Dr. Sumant C. Raman, why is Mr. Kejriwal brazening it out? And is it, I'm just asking you, sir, is it even today practical to brazen it out? You can't even use telephones, let alone meet people in jail. You can't sign documents. This is going to be a sham chief minister sort of running the government. And who knows what decisions are being taken, who's actually taking them, what interests are being furthered. Has he lost the moral authority, let alone anything else?
Rahul, I think that, the BJP must, BJP government at the center must dismiss Arvind Kejriwal and impose president's rule. Already, I would very strongly welcome that, because already his arrest has created a surge of support and sympathy that this clearly appears to be a politically motivated case. So I think dismissing him would certainly be a matter which I think would take this further and make him a martyr. I'm not very sure whether Arvind Kejriwal deserves to be a martyr in this circumstance, but the point really is, as Mrs. Kejriwal said today, this is a money laundering case without the money trail. At least there is no money which has been, which has reached the ED has said that they have identified in these kind of places. Most of it is on hearsay of approvers who say, I gave 100 crores, I gave 50 crores, I gave 20 crores, and so on. So I think that it would be good for Aam Aadmi Party, it would be good for Kejriwal, and I think that if he continues to remain in jail until for the duration of the elections, and also for the India alliance as a whole, because after the electoral bonds, this comes as a big boost in the arm for the India alliance, and this is a self goal of sorts. Nothing prevented the BJP, which had waited, government which had waited so long. After all, these summons have been sent to Kejriwal for months together, and nothing prevented them from waiting for another couple of months until the elections were over. But clearly, the idea seems there seems to be some kind of nervousness, which means that he should be taken into custody even earlier. And I think that it suits him politically.
But Dr. Raman, can I ask you a counter question? You're saying that he was taken into custody at the ED's instance, this, that, the other. But you see, there is there is a provision which applies to all of us. The enforcement directorate gives you 3 opportunities, 3 summons, and if you don't comply, you're basically arrested. Now, Mr. Kejriwal goes to court, stretches it out. He, in fact, in a sense, decided the timing of his own arrest. 9 summons he ignored, and the first summons was issued in October. There was no question of the MPC being applied. There was no question of even the poll dates. We are talking about a cycle of elections that took place in the north, not in Delhi,
Rahul,
in 3 states, and 1 in the south and 1 in the east when the first summons was issued. So
Rahul.
he, in a sense, no, 1 minute, I'm just pointing out a fact. Am I wrong on this fact, sir? Am I wrong?
I will.
So how are you accusing the government of using the ED to tie this up with, the elections at the Lok Sabha level and then question the timing? That sounds a bit bizarre.
Let us look at the arrests of the other Aam Aadmi Party leaders in the same case. Most of them cooperated. Satyendra Jain missed 2 summons or 3 summons, but other than that, Manish Sisodia cooperated with the enforcement directorate. He attended the summons. Sanjay Singh. Many of them attended the summons as called for by the enforcement directorate, and that did not save them from being arrested. They were arrested anyway. So Kejriwal clearly saw this coming. And
he saw this coming and stretched it out, just like the Chief Minister of Jharkhand. He also stretched it out. Yeah. I think there were 11 summons in his case that he dodged. I'm not sure of the number, but
I think Rahul. I feel that politically, Mr. Kejriwal has done very well. This is playing out now in the streets of Delhi, not
Dr.
in the TV studio.
You made a
not
different
just
allegation.
Delhi, it is playing out in the streets
now you're
across
changing
India.
because I have pointed out the facts. You're slightly changing the goalposts.
I am not changing my point at all.
You said that the centre has basically queered the level playing field by arresting this man.
9 summons.
No, 1 second. Once the model.
7 summons.
No, but he went to court.
Enforced after the election. No, it
why?
could have been enforced.
Why? Should we not have the best and the cleanest candidate being standing for elections? And shouldn't the people have a right to know who that candidate is? Yes, Abhijit Iyer
When did
Mitra.
the trial start? No problem. They can have. I am saying the same thing as you, Rahul. Arrest Mr. Kejriwal, dismiss his government, do all of it. Let's see how it plays out. Why not?
Well, have you seen any popular support for Mr. Kejriwal on the streets, viewers? Have you seen any massive outpouring of emotion, people showing up? There are only AAP workers, and that too, the AAP workers came 48 hours after the arrest. Yes.
So there is no sympathy.
Abhijit,
then you must be able to dismiss him easily.
Sitting in Delhi, and Sumant is sitting in Madras. Now, it's very curious that he sees an upsurge of popular sentiment when I'm not seeing it sitting in the heart of Delhi. So congratulations to him. He's got this Trikaldarshi vision, which we all hope for, number 1. Number 2, the interesting question here is, why is he not giving up his chief ministership? Knowing all the access to information and things denied to him, you see, he's never cultivated a second rung of leadership. He constantly has friction and tension between his subordinates because his management style is one of chaos. He sets Raghav Chadha as his viceroy to Punjab to essentially keep watch on a highly erratic chief minister out there, who incidentally is quite thrilled that that the whip is away in London and the hand that wields the whip is in jail. Then you have Delhi, where there is massive infighting going on as we speak because nobody wants to allow the other person to become chief minister, right? One faction has been saying that the other faction headed by a lady will make a compromise with the BJP, so she should not be made chief minister. The ladies faction is going around saying that the gentleman who wants to become chief minister should is a megalomaniac and wants XYZ. The current person who makes video broadcasts sitting in the chief minister's chair is worried that if they themselves become chief minister, they will come under public media scrutiny and they don't feel that they are suave enough to deal with that. Now, in all of this, you would expect that a man who puts his party at least, desh to dur ki baat hai, but party over everything else, would at least ensure coherent leadership in his absence. He knew this was coming. I think all of us have known for the last 3-4 months this was coming.
Okay.
And in spite of that, he did not create redundancy within his party. What does that tell you?
Well, maybe uneasy.
It's called the technical term is narcissistic personality disorder.
Maybe uneasy
Lies
rests the
ahead,
crown
but where's the
on a
crown?
troubled head. Okay, let me, one second. Let me bring in Dr. Akashdeep Muni. Dr. Muni, are you wanting to push the LG to recommend President's rule because you think that will lead to some sort of sympathy for the AAP? Are you using this as some sort of a political instrumentality? Number one. Number two, don't you think, sir, that if other chief ministers who were arrested did the right thing by the people who voted for them because they are keen to provide them a fully functioning government, not a dysfunctional one, Mr. Kejriwal should not also follow suit, or is he happy providing Delhi and its voters dysfunction?
Okay, Rahulji, first point is that I'm a simple political analyst. I'm not Aam Aadmi Party, so that what Aam Aadmi Party thinks, we don't know. They have to tell. My point is coming to your assertion that there is a law that after not abiding by 3 summons, the only way for ED is to give more summons or arrest. This was not the case with Bhavna Goli. She got 3 summons, 4th summon, 5th summon. ED never arrested her because after that she joined Bharatiya Janata Party, NDA. So she has never got 6th, 7th summon. When Aam Aadmi Party's Arvind Kejriwal was getting 5th summon, she was also getting 5th. She never got 6th. Aam Aadmi Party's Arvind Kejriwal got 9th. Anyway, now coming to the the thing regarding running the government from jail. Now, constitutionally, as we pointed out, it can happen. But I think that Arvind Kejriwal is a very good politician. What he is doing here is that he knew when K. Kavita was arrested, he knew that the arrest will come to him. He conducted a trust vote in the assembly so that till the next 6 months there won't be any. That's per the rules. He never applied for anticipatory bail. So now, while some of the co-panelists are thinking that being in Delhi, they see don't see any emotional upsurge. This is not Shiv Sena's time that people will lie down on roads for Balasaheb Thackeray. This is the time of Arvind Kejriwal where people will be voting him. And trust me on this, he has never been voted in the Lok Sabha. You know, since last 3 terms, he has never got 1 seat. But this time, the grassroots reality is that he is going to get seats. I'll just give you one example. Do you remember 2015? He resigned. And after resignation, there was a cursory period where LG was ruling the Delhi. In that period particularly, all the mismanagement was done and everything was, people thought...
So can I ask you a question, Mr. Muni? Since you are describing yourself today as a political analyst, then why isn't the AAP contesting all 7 seats in Delhi?
Because they don't know that they won't win 7 seats.
Oh, so they won't win 7 seats. They'll only win 2, though there is a... Though there is... Come on, look at this bizarre response. If there is such a big... Delhi, viewers, is not some giant state. One second. It's not as if... Agar hawa chal rahi hai, sympathy wave chal rahi hai, it will suddenly stop in 2 constituencies and stop blowing in the 3rd or the 4th or the 5th. Viewers, look at this, remarkably puerile exercise in political analysis. No, hang on. Now, 1 second. First of all, 1 second, sir.
My prediction versus Rahul's prediction.
Two questions to you, very quickly. You talked about Bhavna Gowli, etc. You might be right. I don't have the facts, so I'm not going to this thing. But yes, the ED does act selectively. That much we know, and I'm conceding that point, and I have always done so on this show. But Mr. Muni, let me ask you. Who cleared the arrest? Question 1. In Kejriwal's case, in Chief Minister Kejriwal's case, number 1, who cleared this arrest? And number 2, did he not seek anticipatory bail because it doesn't apply, though he did seek protection from arrest, which was not given? Who did not give protection from arrest and who cleared the arrest? Can you answer this question?
See, these both are rhetorical questions.
No, they're not rhetorical, they're factual questions. How are they rhetorical? There's no answer.
I'll tell you because their answer has been given previously.
No, what is the answer?
It was Supreme Court. I'll tell you.
Okay,
Wait a minute.
so now hang on,
The
viewers.
Supreme
Viewers,
Court-
one second. The
Supreme
gentleman has told us today on record that it wasn't the Prime Minister who cleared the arrest. It wasn't some beat constable employed by the ED that cleared the arrest. It was the highest courts in our land that cleared the arrest. He's told us this.
There is no cleared the arrest. There is nobody can clear the arrest. The
Sir, did they give him
enforcement
immunity
directorate
from
has
arrest?
all the
Did they give
powers.
him, he asked for immunity from arrest. Did he get it? Yes or no?
That he cannot get.
He cannot
Because of
get.
Section 45 of PMLA.
Oh, I see. So then how is he going to get anticipatory bail? You see, viewers, he used the term anticipatory bail. It doesn't apply in these cases. These people don't know their facts and they come here and they try and make people... No, you don't know your facts, sir. Let me bring in...
You don't, let me just speak and then you say that you don't know the facts. I'll tell you, there is a case against you, Rahul Ji. You will not get bail for eternity. Do you challenge me on this? Remember Chhagan Bhujbal? He got bail. When did he got bail? When ED went and said that he lost the fight.
Did not. Okay. Don't be hysterical, sir. Please don't be hysterical. My God. आप इतने गरम क्यों रहे? अच्छा मेरी बात सुनिए।
एग्जांपल दे रहा हूं।
अच्छा मैं भी आपको एग्जांपल दूं सर। You see viewers.
बेल कब मिला बैक पेन के लिए?
Viewers. A point of order. A point of order.
Problem नहीं।
Okay, Mr. Muni, a point of order. I just want to bring it out for our viewers to understand this. It's very simple. Let me tell you, viewers, the charges that were brought by the ED were challenged in court also. They said, how is the PMLA Act being applied to us? Where is the money trail? Even that, viewers, relief was not given.
Because the trial has
No,
not
hang on. So, don't keep changing the goalposts, sir. You're completely out of your depth. Anyhow, let me just bring in the BJP spokesperson, To Repeal AFSPA, and let me ask him, fundamentally, are you only creating... Yes, sir. पूछ लीजिए, sir. You want to ask a question, Mr. Muni?
Has the trial started? Rahul ji, has the trial started? Just say yes or no.
I can't... What are you saying?
Has the trial started of Sanjay Singh, Manish Sisodiya, Satyendra Jain and Arvind Kejriwal? Has the trial started?
No.
Doesn't matter. Exactly my point.
What difference does it make? The man is arrested. He's not getting relief. Even today, he has got no relief from the High Court. If the trial has not started, sir, how are you already giving Mr. Kejriwal and Sisodia clean chit? Mr. Muni, you yourself are saying that these fabricated charges, etc., etc. On what basis are you saying it? Have you seen the evidence? No. So 1 minute.
It is the ASG in the court who has said that we have not got any money trail. We are still pursuing it. That is why I am saying it.
I know.
Because
So, Mr. Muni, are you wiser than the court and the judges? If you are, sir, I rest my case. I have nothing more to say to you. Let me bring in To Repeal AFSPA. To Repeal AFSPA, look, I don't have much time, so I'm going to come to you directly and ask you a simple and straightforward question. Are you using this to basically rob the mandate from the AAP? Simple question.
I think you have answered it, Rahul. You know, for the Aam Aadmi Party, every new day in politics is a new episode of a reality show. You know, and this time they are stretching it too far. So if Arvind Kejriwal today decides to quit as Chief Minister, and I must say that over here, Lalu Prasad Yadav, Hemant Soren, Jayalalitha ji have shown more political sagacity. They have, you know, come out, they have quit when they were when they were imprisoned. Now, if probably the problem with Arvind Kejriwal is that he had believed, or he was somehow given to believe, that there would be immense sympathy build up in his favor the moment he gets arrested. That has not happened, and that is something which is really devastating him. That is something which is frustrating him. So every day he comes up with a new episode.
Okay.
Every day he comes up with a new episode of a reality show. Sometimes his wife comes and tells you that
the BJP is making it clear. The
ball
is in Mr. Kejriwal's court.
The ball is in Arvind Kejriwal's court.
That's what To Repeal AFSPA is saying. That's what the BJP is saying. I'm taking a short break. We are right back, viewers. We are back with To Repeal AFSPA and others on a very important issue. Don't go away. It's a big political story. It could have a completely altering effect on the Lok Sabha election results.
At this point, as the Admiral said, we're going away from the search and rescue portion to a recovery operation. The changing conditions out there have made it dangerous for the first responders, the divers in the water. We will still have surface ships out overnight. At 0600 hours tomorrow, we're hoping to put divers in the water and begin a more detailed search to do our very best to recover those 6 missing people. We're doing our very best in some very difficult times and difficult conditions, which is why we're making that transition now. The last thing we want to do is put divers in the water with changing currents, low temperatures, very poor visibility, and so much metal and other unknown objects in the water. All it takes is one object to strike an individual, and all of a sudden we have a first responder trying to recover another first responder. I think at 0600 we'll find ourselves in a better position to understand the dynamics of what we're dealing with and to address the issue in a much safer manner.
Viewers, for a moment look beyond all the big talk of the BJP pledging to back 370 seats. For the Prime Minister to script history to return for a third time, all he has to do on June 4th is to win a simple majority, that is win 273 seats. In the north itself, there are 224 seats up for grabs. There are a total of 224 Lok Sabha seats. Out of these 224 seats, the BJP has won 91% or around 200 seats. So the Prime Minister-led BJP only really needs to win 70 odd seats to get to the halfway mark of 272. Of the 224 seats in the north, of these 224 Lok Sabha seats in the north, the state of Uttar Pradesh contributes more than a third to the Lok Sabha, grand total of 80 viewers. This is why it is almost imperative that the India alliance stops the BJP's juggernaut in the north and in Uttar Pradesh in specific. But what we are learning is that its most recognizable star in the north, Akhilesh Yadav, may not contest the Lok Sabha polls from Uttar Pradesh at all. In fact, even the other star of the India alliance, Rahul Gandhi, is hesitating to contest from Uttar Pradesh. So much so, viewers, that in the two Gandhi family bastions, we still don't know if any of the Gandhis, whether it's Priyanka Gandhi, of course Sonia Gandhi is saying, I'm not contesting the Lok Sabha elections. Whether Priyanka Gandhi will contest from Rai Bareli and Rahul will contest from Amethi, or both of them will not, we have no clue. from a pure point of optics, this doesn't look good for the India alliance. That Akhilesh and Rahul Gandhi are both hesitating or not inclined to contest from Uttar Pradesh. Viewers, and from a psephological point of view, it suggests that the India alliance doesn't fancy its chances from UP. And remember, UP is not just the crucible of North Indian politics. What happens in UP influences the voter in other Indian, Hindi North Indian speaking states. But it is also the gateway to power in Delhi. It is almost impossible for any government without a presence in Uttar Pradesh to form a stable, cohesive government at the center. And I'm not talking through my hat, viewers. You look at history. And I'm bringing you some hard facts that underscore the point. Look at the big victories that have taken place. Look at your screens, viewers. Indira Gandhi government in 1971. I'm sorry about that photograph. That should be Indira's photograph and Dr. Manmohan Singh's photograph, and it should not be Mr. Modi's photograph. But be that as it may, Indira Gandhi in 71 wins 352 of the 441 seats. In Uttar Pradesh, she wins 73 of the 85 seats, which is a share of 20%, and she forms an absolute majority government. Then look at 1980, viewers. National seats 253, 492. Uttar Pradesh seats, viewers, Indira Gandhi bags 51 of 85, a share of 14%. Significant number of seats from Uttar Pradesh. Let's go on to UPA 1, a coalition government. Even in coalition governments, this applies, viewers. National seats, the UPA 1 was 218. UP seats 44 out of 80, a healthy share of 20%. Modi NDA 1, national seats 282 out of 428. UP seats 71 out of 80, share 25%. These are seats it contested, viewers. Modi NDA 2, national seats 303 of 436. UP seats 62 out of 80, again 20%, viewers. So 20% and above in Uttar Pradesh, you're on your way. Viewers, if you give up on Uttar Pradesh, there's just no way you're going to come back. India alliance, is it conceding the battle before the war? Let's ask that fundamental question. Vivek Silas, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Lokesh Jindal, and Abhijit Iyer Mitra. Let me first begin with you, Vivek Silas. It's a simple question to you. It's not just Mr. Akhilesh Yadav. There are also other bizarre decisions that have been taken with regards to the Samajwadi Party. You're not putting your best foot forward in two other seats, Bijnor, sudden change. What is going on?
Well, very good evening to you, Rahul. Good to see you after such a long time.
Yes,
as far as the Samajwadi Party and Mr. Akhilesh Yadav is concerned, yeah, definitely he is one of our star campaigners, and it's better, I think, that he campaign for the party and make sure that the candidate whoever are contesting from the Samajwadi Party or from the India Alliance, they win the elections. And I think the question should have been whether Mr. Brijbhushan Sharan Singh is being given the ticket or not. That's a big question mark for the Bharatiya Janata Party. The man who was not arrested and no harm was made to him, and we all know what he did. And Mr. Tani also, his son, crushed farmers to death. He has been given a ticket from the Bharatiya Janata Party. That's all a question mark. And the man who talked about farmers, the man who talked about unemployment, the member of parliament from the Bharatiya Janata Party, the man who talked about the youth was denied ticket. This is the more relevant question, I think, Mr. Rahul, because Mr. Varun Gandhi has been denied ticket from the Bharatiya Janata Party. And we are hearing that Mrs. Menka Gandhi is going to return the ticket back to Bharatiya Janata Party very, very shortly. It will be a breaking news very soon on your channel. Doesn't make a difference whether Mr. Akhilesh Yadav is contesting or not, but the India Alliance and the Samajwadi Party is in full peak, and we'll be
I want to ask you, sir.
Yes.
I want to ask you a counter question. You're saying candidate but not a contestant. Now, you could have been so effective in leading the charge. A general leads in battle, doesn't he? An effective general. So why is the general not in battle?
The general will definitely in battle. Who knows? Tomorrow he might contest the Lok Sabha elections from Uttar Pradesh. It's the party that has to. It is the Samajwadi Party who has to decide who has to fight. And
I agree with you.
Because we are not
list
like
after list has come out of the Samajwadi Party. Mr. Akhilesh Yadav's name is not there. I mean, I remember the BJP, the first list had Narendra Modi from Varanasi. It was very clear. Anyhow, let me bring in the BJP spokesperson, Tuhin Sinha, before I open this up. Tuhin Sinha, what do you make of this? The charge that Vivek Silas is making, we are debating the wrong question. We should be debating other questions. Your choice of tickets to individuals, your denial of tickets to individuals, all of which means that the Samajwadi Party is going to win.
Rahul, as we sit today, the BJP has declared its candidates on more than 85% of the seats it is going to contest. The Congress, on the other hand, probably has declared contestants only in 20% of the seats. So there is a huge gap between the opposition. In fact, these are very unique elections this time. Prime Minister Modi ji has given a clarion call for 370 plus, which BJP workers are very diligently working towards. But it seems the opposition has taken that call even more seriously and is going to ensure that we surpass that figure easily. Now look at Rai Bareilly, look at Amethi, as you mentioned. These are important seats. By their escapist attitude, the Congress has shown that it is not in the game. The leaders can't lead by example. In Varanasi, they have given a ticket to Ajay Rai, who has lost his deposit on 2 previous occasions. Akhilesh Yadav does not seem to be keen to contest this time. So I think, there is a lot that this opposition needs to answer. Their leaders don't want to lead from the front, and that is an admission of defeat. It only shows that, UP is going to be a clean sweep, 78 out of 80 or possibly 80 out of 80 for BJP.
Tuhin Sinha says our leaders are leading from the front, which means that we are confident, we are batting on the front. Yes, Mr. Silas, you were saying something?
I said, I just want to ask the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson whether the Bharatiya Janata Party is giving the symbol or the ticket to Mr. Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh.
No, you can give him the ticket. If you are so concerned about him, you are free to give him the ticket.
He is your
Our tickets are announced.
He is not our
there is no ambiguity on that.
But I don't understand why we are making. I don't even understand. Hang on. One second.
You are free to give tickets to all those people who have not given.
Okay. 1 second, Mr. Tuhin Sinha and Mr. Silas. Mr. Silas, look, they are free to give it to anyone they want to. They want to give it to Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, and they want to test the public's appetite for bringing in people who are under a cloud, etc. That's their problem. The point is, आप तो मैदान में ही नहीं आ रहे. वो at least चाहे फुका हुआ कारतूस हो, चाहे वो. Excuse me, Mr. Silas, 1 second. Whether it's a tainted candidate or an exhausted candidate, they are fielding them with great aplomb. You are not even entering the field. And I want to bring in Mr. Iyer Mitra. Mr. Mitra, is it...
We have given 50 seats out of 63 from Uttar Pradesh.
Rahul,
okay, but Mr. Mitra, the question comes to you, and that is, if you are not batting on the front foot, if you are not putting your biggest players and testing them on the ground, is it because you are underconfident, or is it some strategic sort of, retreat?
It's two things, Rahul. It's not just underconfidence, it's also a lack of trusted leaders. You see, the problem here is, for me, a simple division of labor would have been Akhilesh heads up the state elections and Dimple Bhabhi heads up the national elections, something like that, right? It doesn't seem to me that either of them is interested in the national elections at all, primarily because of the fact that they're going to lose. But secondly, where is the second rung of leadership out here? You see a recurring theme here in tonight's debates has been, where is this second rung of leadership that Akhilesh trusts to put them in charge of the election, of the Lok Sabha election campaign? His father, Mulayam Singh Yadav, had Amar Singh, who he trusted implicitly right up, almost up till the end, that he used to put in charge of the Lok Sabha elections. See, people need a face to congregate around. They need somebody to know who's going to represent their interests in the Lok Sabha. Because if you have a nondescript Lok Sabha campaign, people have no faith that you're going to represent them zealously. Why are they going to vote for you? I think there's a combination of both desperation and a lack of trust and redundancy in anyone except family. And obviously, he can't expose Dimple Bhabhi to a defeat out here.
Okay, Lokesh Jindal, let me bring you in, sir. The Congress party has not still declared 2 seats. One would think that they could make anyone stand from those 2 seats because it has been such a stronghold of the party that it doesn't matter whether the Gandhis do or not. Unfortunately, you have not declared your candidates even now. What are you waiting for? The poll code has kicked in.
Good evening, Rahul.
Good evening,
Rahul,
sir.
I don't understand why certain seats are given such undue glamorization or such glorification. You have any seat a person contests from, he would be a representative, he would be a member of parliament. We do not have one single constituency returning 4 or 5 candidates. So when you are talking about BJP in North India, why are you ignoring 39 seats of Tamil Nadu, 48 seats of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, 19 seats of Kerala, Karnataka 28 seats, which total contribute to about 139 seats? Why don't we debate that where is BJP in these seats? What about the 48 seats in Maharashtra? What about
hang on. The BJP in Tamil Nadu has fielded, one second, an ex-governor has fielded its state president, has fielded a member of parliament, it has fielded ministers. So I don't understand. They are putting, you look at Kerala. In one of the biggest contests there is from Thiruvananthapuram, where a minister, sitting NDA minister, is up against Mr. Shashi Tharoor, who of course has a great hold over that constituency. So they are throwing the kitchen sink at this fight. So I'm not understanding Lokesh Jindal. Now they may not win. That's a different matter. But the point is they're putting their best foot forward. If you really look across the board, and Mr. Jindal, you will realize that a large number of ministers have been asked to contest, from Piyush Goyal downwards, upwards, everybody is in there.
Rahul, well, you showed me a data that how important is Uttar Pradesh. Now, prior to 2000, there used to be a time when a united Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, it used to have a significant impact on who would be forming government in Delhi. But now, this is not the trend anymore. Uttar Pradesh is just one of the many states of India. So we cannot say that one state has a lot of importance and other states do not.
Numerically, you would agree that if you look at, one second, if you look at, sir, 1 minute, give me 30 seconds. If you just look at it numerically, around 20% of total seats of the Lok Sabha are just in Uttar Pradesh, and if you look at it from 272 point of view, which is the halfway mark, do the math, 80 divided by 272, and it will tell you.
Less than 15%. No, less than 20% for Lok Sabha.
Sir, 80 of 272 is how much?
110.
80 of 272 is how much, sir? You're a great mathematician, I am not, tell me.
You said 20% of the seats, so if you're talking about 20%,
sir, you're talking about Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, I'm giving you the number. Is it not 20%? Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, just do the math. It's about 100, 1 second, 80
plus 120 it is. Yes, it is a 20%.
So
but
then
I'll tell
why
you
are you? I don't understand. We are hair splitting here. I'm asking you, sir. What is wrong with my math? आप मुझे मेरे पीछे क्यों पड़े हुए? देखिए, I know I didn't do very well in math, but on this particular count, I'm not wrong. Listen me out. I'm just asking you, sir. These are very significant. Look, I spelt it out for you. There are 224 seats in the north. If you have to beat the BJP has got almost 200 of those seats. It's only 72 short of the halfway figure. You have to ensure that you make inroads in the north. And that's where you should be focusing your biggest stars. But you are not. वो तो उतरे ही नहीं मैदान में.
Rahul, if you talk about Western Uttar Pradesh, there BJP considers that getting the support of the Jat leaders is going to have some form of a representation in the farmers' issue, but that's wrong. Because the farmers...
No, but why is the RLD with them then? Why is the RLD dumped the India alliance?
No, listen.
No, I'm asking you.
is still struggling to get its election symbol back. It has performed terribly.
That
And
doesn't
let me
matter,
tell
then
you,
why was it
RLD
with you in the first place
is
for 2
going to
elections?
suffer more.
Okay.
RLD is going to suffer more. Secondly, why hasn't the BJP been able to form a seat sharing formula with JJP? Can you answer this?
But that
Why
is
is the
Haryana.
BJP still
We are
stuck?
talking about
Yes, in
Uttar
Haryana.
Pradesh.
In Haryana,
Okay.
the BJP is still
Twin
sorting
Sinha,
some ground,
respond.
somehow to come at agreement with JJP. What's the problem over there? Secondly, when you talk about
I
Punjab,
think
when you talk
they
about
need
Jammu
to,
Kashmir,
Congress needs to draw a lesson or two in strategizing from us, where we are confident of winning on our own, whether it is Orissa, whether it is Haryana, we are going it alone. Where we need partners and where we need that, the partnership will be a win-win situation for we and our alliance partner.
Well,
we are going for a partnership.
Let me, before I
What
wrap
is the
out of
Congress
this,
grudging
viewers, give
today?
you a fact.
What
Just a fact to
exactly
chew on.
is the
Last
Congress
election in
grudging
2019, the Samajwadi Party and the BSP contested together with the RLD, and together, putatively, they would have had a vote share of more than 50%. Did they get it? No, viewers. They didn't. The BJP ran roughshod. In fact, getting 60 plus seats in Uttar Pradesh out of 80. This time, it's going to be a four-cornered contest. And the BJP looks as if it is going to pull ahead because the opposition votes are going to clash with each other. I'll leave that thought with you. Perhaps that's the reason why the Samajwadi Party big guns are not in the contest. I'll take a short break.
Co-powered by.
At this point, as the Admiral said, we're going away from the search and rescue portion to a recovery operation. The changing conditions out there have made it dangerous for the first responders, the divers in the water. We will still have surface ships out overnight. At 0600 hours tomorrow, we're hoping to put divers in the water and begin a more detailed search to do our very best to recover those 6 missing people. We're doing our very best in some very difficult times and difficult conditions, which is why we're making that transition now. The last thing we want to do is put divers in the water with changing currents, low temperatures, very poor visibility, and so much metal and other unknown objects in the water. All it takes is one object to strike an individual, and all of a sudden we have a first responder trying to recover another first responder. I think at 0600 we'll find ourselves in a better position to understand the dynamics of what we're dealing with and to address the issue in a much safer manner.
Viewers, the Bharatiya Janata Party and the NDA are so confident of having affected durable and enduring transformative change in Jammu and Kashmir after the abrogation of Article 370 that it is now thinking of repealing the Holy of Holies, the AFSPA, or the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, that gives a cover from prosecution, legal cover, to the armed forces that are involved in fighting counterinsurgency in the state. Speaking to a regional Kashmiri media outlet, Union Home Minister Amit Shah disclosed the government's plan to potentially repeal the Armed Forces Special Powers Act in Jammu and Kashmir. Shah conveyed the government's plan to gradually reduce troop presence with full law enforcement responsibility transitioning to the Jammu and Kashmir police service. This comes amid calls for state election in Jammu and Kashmir. Of course, the opposition in the state is saying that this is a clever attempt to try and sway Kashmiri sentiment. But listen to this, viewers. It's very revealing.
एक बड़ा इम्पोर्टेंट है लॉ एंड ऑर्डर अब आहिस्ता आहिस्ता करके ठीक हो रहा है, हर एक चीज़ बेहतर हो रही है। जिस तरीके से आपने जब से हमने इंटरव्यू शुरू आपने कहा कि किस तरीके से हमने स्टेप टू स्टेप हर एक चीज़ को ठीक किया है, अब आहिस्ता आहिस्ता करके जो सोच थी वो बदल चुकी है। तो क्या ये वक्त आ गया है जो एडिशनल डिप्लॉयमेंट ऑफ ट्रूप्स अभी जम्मू कश्मीर के हैं उन्हें वापस बैरक्स के अंदर लाया जाए और ज़्यादा फुटप्रिंट्स को कम करके एक नॉर्मल सी?
निश्चित रूप से चुनाव के बाद इस पर हम एक एक्शन प्लान बनाए हैं और जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस के हवाले ही जम्मू कश्मीर का कानून और व्यवस्था की स्थिति होगी और धीरे धीरे ट्रूप बैरक में जाएंगे। ये हमारा एक डिज़ाइन बना हुआ है। हमने 7 साल का एक ब्लूप्रिंट बनाया है। जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस को हम स्ट्रेंथी कर रहे हैं। जम्मू कश्मीर की पुलिस अब अपने पैरों पर खड़ी हुई और जितनी भी मुठभेड़ हुई है इसमें ज़्यादातर अब जम्मू कश्मीर की पुलिस करती है,
क्योंकि फोर फ्रंट पर वही
रहती है। हम सपोर्ट में सेंट्रल फोर्सेस रहती है। तो एक कल्चर बदला है। पहले जम्मू कश्मीर की पुलिस पर विश्वास नहीं किया जाता था दिल्ली की ओर से। हमने जम्मू कश्मीर की पुलिस में एक गुणात्मक बदलाव लाया है और फोर फ्रंट पर जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस है।
क्या हम ये माने कि जब चुनाव के बाद दोबारा एक सरकार होगी प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी साहब की सरबराही में, क्योंकि जिस तरीके के पूरे देश में अभी हलचल चल रही है, उसके बाद इस पर थोड़ा सा काम होगा, फुटप्रिंट्स को कम?
ऑलरेडी काम आगे बढ़ चुका है।
अच्छा, इनिशिएट
हो चुका है। आज इसीलिए जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस फोर फ्रंट पर है। पहले सीआरपीएफ और सेना होते थे, अब जम्मू कश्मीर पुलिस है।
तो दूसरा बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट इशू भी है, जब इस तरीके के हालात बन रहे हैं तो आर्म फोर्स स्पेशल पावर एक्ट, जिस तरीके से हमने देखा कि आपकी सरबराही में जो नॉर्थ ईस्ट वाला जोन था और कुछ इलाकों के अंदर था, वहां पर हालात ठीक हुए तो आहिस्ता आहिस्ता करके
जरूर हम इस पर जरूर विचार करेंगे। इस पर
जम्मू कश्मीर के अंदर भी
नॉर्मल स्थिति हो ही रही है और बहुत स्पीडीली इस पर विचार किया जाएगा। नजदीक के भविष्य में विचार किया जाएगा।
Good evening. You're watching The Right Stand with me, Poonam Burde. Union Home Minister Amit Shah made a big declaration in an interview to a media house in Jammu and Kashmir. He said the centre is considering revocation of the Armed Forces Special Powers Act from Jammu and Kashmir. AFSPA, remember, was a law implemented in the 1990s, legislation that gives legal cover to the armed forces operating in what are known as disturbed areas from prosecution. This was at a time when terrorism was at its peak in the valley. The entire law and order machinery had collapsed. Over 3 decades later now, has the time come for it to be removed completely from Jammu and Kashmir? Well, the call to repeal the law has come loud and clear from various quarters over the last 3 decades, including many judicial commissions. Is it merely about political will though? The jury is still out on that, but many would agree that the time is ripe for this decision to be made. Does that mean normalcy has returned to Jammu and Kashmir? Can those politicians who question the Modi government's claims on a Naya Kashmir ignore the facts? Because many say the facts are there for everyone to see. We see the kind of boom that tourism has seen in Jammu and Kashmir. The economy is doing extremely well. There are no hartals anymore. Stone pelting is almost nil. Can those be ignored? But does that mean all is well? Certainly not. There is much left to be desired. But will the repeal of AFSPA be the first remedial step in bringing Jammu and Kashmir on par with any other state in the country? Well, Home Minister Amit Shah said that the government plans to withdraw troops from J&K soon, though he did not fix a timeline for it. But what gives the centre this confidence to bite that bullet if they will? Amit Shah said that without the support of the people of Jammu and Kashmir, comprehensive changes could not take place. He appealed to the youth of Kashmir, especially the youths, to not fall prey to the conspiracies of